better
Ryan,
that day.
when you lean back, you're almost like out of frame. So please stop doing that. Unless you want to be out of frame, it is what it is. But you do that a lot.
Hello, welcome to another edition of Popcorn Bucket List, post episode 200, officially 201.
Post.
Yeah, we got a lot to cover here with this episode, I would say.
Big one.
Yeah, last week was a little bit of an easier episode, so we decided to bring balance back to the force by doing a jam-packed one here today. So we're actually going to start things off with a little bit of PBN, Popcorn Bucket News here. Generally we don't get too much into politics here.
No.
Mainly for time reasons and also because we don't want to step on anyone's toes because you don't know whose toes not to step on these days.
True.
It seems like.
That's true.
But when politics gets into our movies, we got to talk about it.
We got to talk about it.
So in case you missed it earlier on this week, there was a report talking about how the Trump administration was going to announce 100% tariffs on any movie made outside of the U.S. Here was the official quote, or at least part of the official quote, saying, quote, "I am authorizing the Department of Commerce and the United States Trade Representative to immediately begin the process of instituting a 100% tariff on any and all movies coming into our country that are produced in foreign lands," end quote. So yeah, that's mostly what we know about this at this point.
Yeah.
There was no word on when this would begin. In fact, actually, the idea was, and I had forgot about this, but the more I read about it, I think I do remember this, actually. The idea was first proposed back in May 2025, so been a few months here. So, yeah, I guess what are our general thoughts on here right away on this?
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like... Well, it's kind of twofold because I can't stand how people... I can't stand how hard it is to make an actual film in the United States, but I don't want people going elsewhere unless you need to go elsewhere for the movie.
So this was actually going to be one of the questions I was going to ask later on. Then is, so yeah, what do you do if you're doing a movie that is set in another country or whatever?
Yeah.
Does
that count as it could be Mission Impossible, but they're filming in the
you're
UK.
Filming in a real world. How are you going to do a real world location? Recreate the second tallest building in the world here in America? So just rebuild the Saudi Arabia all over again?
Yeah. So I don't know. It's silly. I don't think this should be a thing. I think if you make a movie and want to put it out to the world, also why is this just going for theater run movies? What about if you put it on Netflix? It's a digital thing. You can how does that work? If it's going on Netflix, is it a real movie anyways?
Okay, we don't need to open that here
that's
now,
another thing too. So
all right, just for devil's advocate's sake here, let's kind of try and explain what it seems like what they're going for here. They are trying to help the movie industry, which does need a little bit of help here right now. It is still recovering from COVID. There has been growth. There has been a bounce back. I don't know if it's quite as much as we would like it to be at this point.
The problem is it's I would also say the movies that they're making. People don't want to see those types of movies. They want to see other stuff.
Yeah, I suppose that could be part
because
of it.
There is some record-breaking movies coming out. Demon Slayer, record-breaking. Other films that are smashing all kinds of records and being the most successful of the franchise or whatever. But it's just different. The whole atmosphere is different.
Yeah, you can say that again. But yeah, it seems like the point of this, what they're trying to accomplish here is they are trying to get it so that people are making movies in American cities again, so that way that sort of revenue goes towards American cities and everything like that. The lodging of all the crew members, of, having to rent out locations, all that sort of stuff that goes into it. However, according to Jay Suarez, this is going to be the most quoted PBL episode ever, by the way. Jay Suarez, the vice chairman of United Talent Agency, who's speaking to CNN about this, they talk about how, quote, the fact is it's cheaper for Hollywood studios to pay for everyone to get on planes, pay for hotels, because the cost of labor, lack of rebates, and the ability to make things overseas is infinitely cheaper. Now, I didn't really, end quote, by the way, I didn't really look into how exactly is that cheaper. That did kind of confuse me a little bit. It would seem like you would think it would be cheaper here, I guess, necessarily, but I don't know exactly why it is all that, but I don't know if you have any idea there. Or?
Yeah, from my understanding, and I could be wrong, I just want to point that out there. It is like if you want to use Universal's set or the back lots at Universal, renting that, using the their people and union people and fitting into that box, that is more expensive to rent that area and use that area and use those people than taking your crew, flying them over to London and renting a studio there, renting a hotel and doing that. It's cheaper to do that than it is to film at the back lot at Universal. Like it costs more money. It just, you can it's insane.
So there's a whole debate around this, whether or not, would it actually save money? Would it not? Is this actually better for the industry? Would it not? At the end of the day, though, as I was doing research on this, I did come across something interesting here, that all this argument, all this discussion may be mute because it's possible this isn't even legal, what they're doing here, actually.
Yep.
Looking into it, there's this little thing called the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, or the IEPA. Or as I like to call it EPA, like in the Simpsons movie when the grandpa's going crazy there. He's going, EPA, EPA. That's kind of what it reminded me of.
That's good.
But basically, just to really condense this here, this act was made so that a president can make and impose economic sanctions during national emergencies. Now, you could argue, because we are still, the movie industry at least is very much recovering from COVID, you could still argue this constitutes under national emergency. I think that's a fair argument to say. However, according to an article in Forbes I read here, there's this little thing in there called the Berman Amendment that was made in 1988 that specifically says, quote, presidents cannot regulate the import of information materials, including films, end quote. So, despite all this discussion we've had before, this may not even be something they can do here necessarily.
Yeah. And then again too, it's like, well, could you, if you did make a movie in London or wherever, could you just maybe, we're just going to put it on Netflix and now we'll sell it to Netflix?
Yeah. Is this gonna, okay. So yeah, let's say in a hypothetical situation, they somehow skirt this amendment, whatever, there's still the imposition of the tax. Yeah. Does that count if you are digitally putting it somewhere?
Yeah.
And in which case, if that happens, then you've completely pushed away movies from the movie theaters.
Yep.
Now you're really hurting the industry.
And then you put if you live in the United States, you can't watch it. Well, anybody that has a VPN will just put their VPN wherever and watch it if they want to watch it.
Yeah. So it is worth mentioning this amendment that they put in. This was essentially put in during the Cold War because they didn't want the president to just pick and choose specific newsreels to come in. Obviously, there was a lot of, there was information that other countries didn't want to hear about other countries and all that. And that was both sides. That was all over the place. Russian news media didn't want to hear about all the prosperity that was happening here. People didn't want to hear about, So the whole point was, this was to stop the picking and choosing of news and everything like that. However, it does apply to films as well. That being said, I guess technically back then, film was a physical copy. So again, this brings up the question, does it apply to digital stuff?
Yep. And when I spent my time in Europe, I actually bought some Iron Maiden albums and brought them back, and I just had carried them in my backpack. But I'm pretty sure I was supposed to, I have to state that I had these with me because they were media. Yeah. And granted, nothing happened, and I didn't get in trouble or anything.
But I do believe music also does apply under that as well.
Yeah, it does.
Think I did that. So you would have been fine if there was something there. But I don't know. I guess that's just kind of a little bit of what we know about it so far. Again, there hasn't even been any word of when this would go into effect.
Yeah.
So, if let's say you're shooting a movie now outside of the country, does that affect you now, or is there sort of a grandfather clause or whatever in it?
Yeah.
Again, there's a lot of unknowns here, including that of which I found most interesting is, can they even legally do this? So we'll have to wait and see there, but I don't know. Sounded like an interesting story. It dealt with movies a little bit, so we thought we would touch on it a little bit here. But at the time of this recording, no further updates, but let us know. What do you think of this? Do you think this is something we should pursue, or is there any other sort of things that we're not even considering here yet? There's a lot of questions, I feel like, here. A lot of what-ifs that apply to filmmaking here. So let us know in the comments. But with that, let's move on to our opening spotlight here. It is the top of the month, so that means we are updating our library display over at the Marshall Lyon County Library. And since it is, I guess, officially the start of spooky season, I mean, really, it kind of starts in September, but officially starts in October.
It's official.
We thought we would focus a little bit more on scary movies, and since it's a library, we're going to go a little bit book-themed here this month. So with October being having been begun here, we are focusing this week's opening spotlight on best scary movies based on books.
On the books.
So it had to be written down first and then adapted some form or the other into a movie. And today's discussion, we're going to actually break it down into 3 categories here because we want something a little bit more family-friendly, maybe something a little bit more intense, and then the real gory stuff. So this is, I think, the first time we've ever done it like this. I'm kind of surprised it took us this long to get to this point. But we're going to talk about movies rated PG, PG-13, and rated R. So let's kick things off with PG. Let's start off light. So to speak here. Any PG-rated movies that are good for scary movie.
Yeah. So I decided to go with a classic, Goosebumps, Night of the Living Dummy 3. It's got my boy Slappy in it. This was one of the very first Goosebumps movies I saw when I was probably, I don't even know, what year did that come out? I was probably a little wee tot, just a little guy. And I had to sleep with the lights on, and my mom was very upset with me because I asked her if I could get it, and it's a Goosebumps book or movie. You read those books, you'll be fine. And it scared me, but I was also a little kid.
You've been a really little kid. Came out in 1997, July 1997. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe you saw it like on DVD, I suppose, later on.
I probably saw it. I was probably 7, 8.
For the record, I was like 4 months old.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And it was really good, though, but it's a fun one. Looking back, because I've seen it recently, not scary. But for a 6, 7-year-old, 6, 7, it was pretty wild.
Anyways, so for my PG pick, I had a few here I was debating on. I'll probably have these as my recommends for the library display, but it feels like cheating because these were older movies and they should not be rated PG.
Yeah.
But they are. So I'm not going to recommend them here, but it's probably going to end up on the display here. So for my actual PG pick here today, I'm going to go with The House with the Clock in Its Walls. Very much kind of like the Goosebumps vibe.
Goosebumps vibe.
Mainly because Jack Black is in this one and that live-action Goosebumps movie. But I remember having a lot of fun with this one here. I mean, it was a little spooky, but it was very magical. Cate Blanchett is very funny, as well as Jack Black in this as well. I don't know. I thought it was a little creepy. Just enough for a kid, maybe, but it was also very whimsical.
Yeah.
It's a very good introduction, I think, and I feel like I've probably recommended that here before, but I mean, it was either that or I was going to recommend Young Frankenstein and Jaws, which were both apparently rated PG, so it felt like cheating, so I couldn't really, I don't know, I couldn't really, I mean, there's like sex scenes in Young Frankenstein, so I can't really recommend that as a PG movie. So that is my official PG pick for this House with a Clock in Its Walls. But let's get a little bit more intense here with some PG-13 rated movies. Why don't you kick us off with this one here?
So I went with a little bit of an old school movie. As some of you may know, I'm an Alfred Hitchcock fan. I love his films. I used to watch his TV show. Obviously, Psycho's the one that got me kind of introduced to Alfred Hitchcock, but one of his all-time classics, The Birds, will give you maybe a little bit different of a take. But I would also say this is a little more family friendly too. Yeah, if you're into black and white horror, very unique film.
I think actually, isn't it The Birds in Color? Or am I thinking of a different one? Maybe. I thought The Birds was in color,
Yeah.
but it's
Now
still an older
yeah.
pick. Yeah, but it would have been like right in that transition
Yeah.
of Alfred Hitchcock going from black and
Yeah.
white to color. There, it might have been one of his first ones, but yeah, it's one of those. I love that movie because it's one of those. It doesn't seem very threatening. It's just birds, but it's a pretty scary one. That's a little freakier one here, and I would not want to be caught in.
You're right.
certain- It was color. Okay.
It was color. Yeah.
I could have very well been getting mixed up with like an SNL spoof I had seen at one point too. So I wasn't entirely sure, but I could have been either way there, but still a good classic one there.
Yeah.
One of his more recognizable. So for my PG-13 pick, I wanted to go a little unconventional with this one, actually. One that you wouldn't necessarily think of as a scary or horror movie. You probably would chalk this up to more action, but I think it counts. I'm going with Jurassic Park because you have these creatures who are chasing down people and threatening to end their lives. Much like many monsters. I think the reason why we don't think of this as like a horror or scary is because a majority of it is in the daytime.
Yeah.
And you don't think of scary movies in the daytime as often.
Yep.
But similar to Birds, now that I think about it, a lot of that happened in the daytime.
Yeah. And I think if you really market it as an action movie, because there's a lot of action, granted, sometimes a lot of horror movies have a lot of action in them, fight scenes, etc. I think if you would have went back and changed its marketing to a scary movie, you could have easily done that. Like you could pull that off as a scary movie. But I think it is better as seen through the lens of an action movie, adventure movie.
Even just not so much the marketing, but if you change up the score, like the John Williams score is
too.
a great score. Do not get me wrong. But if you make it a little bit more tense, replace some of the horns with a little bit more violin.
Yeah.
And some of those scenes, like where they're hiding from the velociraptors in the kitchen, like that is horror movie peak right there. Of you're hiding around any corner. I mean, the first time we see the T-Rex, there's this build up and it's like, okay, where is the monster? What is happening?
Yeah.
What's going to happen next?
Yeah. That's a really good point.
So I want to go a little unconventional with that one there. It's got all the same staples. You're running away from something, fight for survival. You got to get out of there. Yeah. Just like every other horror movie. So just because it's in the daytime, man.
Yep. Midsummer, one of my favorite horror movies. And that's all daytime.
That should be one of our topics sometime elsewhere at some point. Is like, scary, unconventional scary movies, ones that you wouldn't think of. And pretty much any of them that are in the daytime. Yeah. You don't automatically think of. When you're scared at night.
Yep.
Everything. So but let's move on to rated R. This is where things get real messy here. So what's your R-rated movie pick?
My R-rated movie pick is another classic, The Shining. And I'm talking about the Stanley Kubrick Shining, not the really bad one that Stephen King helped make for TV. It's awful. Don't watch it. It's really bad.
See, I didn't even know Stephen King did a.
He hates Stanley Kubrick's film.
I've heard that. I just didn't even know he made his own.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if maybe he just produced it or something, but it's.
My point is, I'd never even heard of it. So that's how
bad.
That's how bad it must have been. They buried that sucker.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue.
Yeah. One of my favorite movies of all time. It's the acting's brilliant. It's Stanley Kubrick, so every little scene, every little detail is beautiful. It's I think if you haven't seen it, you need to go watch it as soon as you get done watching this.
I like that plug.
I'm just gonna add to that. I love that movie. The Shining is great.
It's fantastic.
So, I like that pick.
I wouldn't mind visiting that hotel in the daytime.
Pretty cool.
And in the daytime mainly.
At night?
Yeah, probably not.
Do you happen to go there to do some writing? Because
no, I wouldn't make that. I wouldn't.
Be the caretaker for the winter.
Look, the odds of it happening to me slim to none, but they're not zero. And I'm not about that. I don't take those kind of risks. Anyways, my R-rated movie pick. I was actually kind of surprised when I was researching this. I thought I was going to use this for my PG-13. I was surprised to find out it is rated R. Granted, there are a few bloody scenes, but I was surprised this was rated R. I'm talking about the original, or not the original, the new Invisible Man, the one that came out a couple of years ago with Elizabeth Moss in it. I was also surprised to find out this was first based off of a book. I know the Invisible Man character had been developed in that Universal Monster Universe of the 1920s and all that.
Yeah.
I did not know that it was first actually part of an H.G. Wells novel in like late 1800s, I think it was.
Okay.
So I was learning a lot this week.
Yeah.
I was researching
Learning.
for PBN.
Look at that.
I just got a lot of knowledge in me today.
There you go.
You know?
Perfect.
Yeah, put me on a trivia show. I'm ready to go now. But yeah, this is a fantastic movie overall. Like I said, there's some very good action scenes from a director who's been doing some really cool action sequences the last few years. And Elizabeth Moss's acting is superb.
Yeah.
This was like the third year in a row we were looking at like her and the girl from like Us and all that, where we're like, give Oscar nominations to some horror movie actors already.
Yeah.
Like they have earned it at this point. And I don't know why they haven't gotten that recognition yet, but she is definitely one of those cases to say, yes, we should be doing this more. But yeah, it's overall, it's a great movie. It's very tense, but got a lot of action in it. Like I said, a little bloody, very scary. It's everything you want.
Yep.
You know, it's going to satisfy a little bit of everyone here.
Yep.
Me, for one, am not big into horror, but I like a little bit more action and everything like that. Someone might not be as much into action, but they might be into a little bit of the horror more or whatever. And yeah, just I got nothing but good things to say about this movie, but surprised it was rated R. Feel like it was kind of a soft R.
It was a soft R.
Like it was kind of that. You remove a few of the things, maybe there might have been an F-bomb in there or two. You remove some of those, probably could have been PG-13. But it did good in R. But I figured you would have something to say about an NC-17 rated movie, and that is an official rating. So I thought I'd give you a little chance here. I don't have any recommends for this, but why don't you give us an NC-17 movie?
With my pick, I'm going with the director's cut of The Exorcist. A lot of people for a long time have dubbed this the scariest movie ever made. It's up there. I don't know if I'd say it's the scariest movie ever made. However, I think it is easily among the top handful, especially if you're into suspense and terror. But it was groundbreaking when it came out. It scared a lot of people, still scares people. A lot of people still reference this as one of their scariest movies. Go watch the director's cut. It's a little bit longer, a little bit scarier. It's not very bloody and gory, but
I was going to say, how much longer? Are we talking
that I don't know.
Are we talking like Lord of the Rings longer?
No,
or are we
an entire film longer?
Yeah, a whole other few hours longer.
Probably like 10 minutes longer. not too different.
I feel like I got to ask that every once in a while now, just for clarity. But
yeah, we'll just throw in like, if they would have made The Hobbit into one movie, two movies.
I think you do. I think you could have done it.
I think you do in two movies, not three movies, and not three 3-hour movies.
Yeah, that was not the right call there.
Yep.
Well, those are our picks for some scary movies based off books. Let us know, what are some of your favorite ones that we didn't get to here? And remember, some of these recommendations, like I said, can be found and checked out of the Marshall Lyon County Library. Maybe you haven't seen any of these that we've talked about. That's a good opportunity to check them out for free, by the way.
That's right.
And, well, maybe you've seen them before. Maybe you want to rewatch them. Hey, you can't find them on streaming services? Well, there they are, right there.
There you go.
So
there you
check
go.
them out over at the Marshall Lyon County Library all this month. Welcome to another edition of Looting Our Childhood. First ever Wii Sports Tournament.
Straight fire.
Nope.
No, come on.
Come on.
Come on. Catch it, fellas. Oh, let's go. Oh! No! What?
I'm out of breath. But with that, let's move on to the weekly preview here. A little bit of a busier weekend here to kick off October. And actually, we're going to start off before the weekend here. Movie out by the time this video is out. Wednesday, October 1st, Play Dirty, coming straight to Prime Video. This movie stars Mark Wahlberg and Lakeith Stanfield as they get themselves involved in one of the biggest heists of all time. The only problem is their small little team is going up against the mafia and an entire country. Yeah, odds are kind of stacked against him on that one there, I feel like.
It's Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, it is Mark Wahlberg.
He's Mark Wahlberg.
He's gonna take on the mafia here, I
Yeah.
guess. Okay, so pros and cons, I feel like, with this movie. I felt there was a few as I was watching this trailer here. Let's start with the pros. Pro. Directed and written by Shane Black. I really like Shane Black.
I do
He's
too.
made some of my favorite movies. The Nice Guys. Ended up
Awesome.
on my top 100
Yeah.
recently. That being said, he's also made some of my least favorite. I think Iron Man 3 is actually my second to last least favorite MCU movie. So
Iron Man 3?
yeah, Iron Man 3.
Ooh, I really like that one.
I got problems with it, but and
Tony,
he also made
Tony without his armor.
there's other issues with it, but not only that, he also made one of those recent Predator movies, which I heard wasn't too good at all. That
Oh,
so
yeah.
he's very hit and miss at this point. As I was watching the trailer, there were parts of it that was so very much cookie cutter action that I didn't realize Shane Black was director of this till the trailer told me.
Yeah.
But there were moments that I also did see some Shane Blackness in it.
Mhm.
Or there were some action sequences that seemed interesting. There was some whippy dialogue. There's that moment where he's like running through a horse race. I want to know how he got in that.
when he's running through and slides through the
But
horse's
I'm like
legs.
curious. But I'm like curious. I want to know what led to that situation. I want to know how we got to that point. It made me curious. It was a little ridiculous, but it made me curious.
That's like, it's. Yeah. There's a reason it's going to Hulu or Amazon Prime or whatever.
Yeah, that might be one of the other cons as well.
Yeah.
I haven't even. I've literally heard no marketing before this.
The one with Mark Wahlberg on the plane went to actual movie theaters.
And we can't even get a Shane Black, Keith Stanfield, Mark Wahlberg movie to theaters.
Yeah.
What is wrong with this
That's-
country, man? We used to be a proper country
Yeah.
where Mark Wahlberg movies
Yeah.
all went to streaming except for the good ones. And now the bad ones are going to theaters and potentially the good ones are going to streaming.
Like I was saying, 2016 Pokemon Go World Peace. That was
Okay,
peak.
but you said that before.
That was peak.
Okay, you were talking about that before we were recording, so there's absolutely no context to that for the audience and everything like that. So good luck figuring that one out,
Yep.
guys.
Yep.
I don't know. You got anything else to say about this one here in general? Or
No.
Okay. I'm going to check it out just because Shane Black, but like I said, he's very hit or miss.
You'll have to let us know.
Yeah, I will. Now let's move on to the weekend here. Friday, October 3rd, kicking things off is The Smashing Machine. Also coming to theaters here, Dwayne Johnson plays real-life UFC legend Mark Carr in this biopic detailing all the struggles that he went through, including his addictions to winning and, well, some other stuff.
That was
We'll call
good.
it
That was good.
Thank you. Sometimes these come to me right away. Sometimes it's bad. But anyways, I will say I've heard a lot of great stuff about Dwayne Johnson's performance, so I don't want to take away from that. That being said, he is playing a wrestler again, so I can't imagine this was too hard of a transition for him. It's kind of like when Lady Gaga did A Star Is Born. Is she great in that movie? Yes. Is she just playing a pop star? Yes. I don't want to take away from it, but
No,
just
I've heard the same. I'm excited for this. I think it's going to be awesome. He looks phenomenal. Looks like he's acting the part. You see Chuck Liddell is in there. You see a couple other fighters that are in there. So I'm really excited for it. I hope they do it justice and his story justice. But have you seen The Rock? You should go watch this movie and then go look up what The Rock looks like now.
he's got to be prepared for something else now, right?
I don't know, or he's just losing his mind from all the.
I don't know,
because obviously he takes steroids. He takes some sort of steroids.
Yeah.
And that's fine. You're not a competitive athlete. You
If you're
can do
just-
that.
yeah, whatever.
There's no law saying you can't do that.
Live your life.
Yeah. So I think a lot of that's catching up to him, and maybe after this movie he realized well, shoot, maybe I should be more clean and just. Now he's a little. He went from being a tomato down to a raisin.
You make that sound. That's exactly, I think, the sound that I think of when you give a before and after there. It just kind of right out from there.
Yeah,
maybe. But
that's what he looks like.
Yeah, I don't know. Part of me, it's kind of one of those body transformations you see with actors every once in a while that you kind of hope they at least get an Oscar nomination out of this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you kind of look at it and go, "What was the point, man?
Yeah.
What are we doing?"
And that's the thing. It's like, what film would he be working on? Because he's probably going to get nominated for an Oscar for this. In my opinion, he might, depending on how well
It's
the movie
still pretty
does.
early on here.
Yeah.
But
there's a
potential
chance
there.
for it. But what is he trying to get ready for? Is he playing 85-pound boxer in the next movie? Like, I don't know what he's doing.
I mean, either that or the next Jumanji movie. He's like, his avatar is like PS1 graphics, and they're like trying to make him exactly like that.
Exactly
or
like
that.
that.
I don't know.
I'll take some Tomb Raider PS1 graphics.
So this movie was written and directed by Benny Safdie, who is part of the Safdie brothers, worked on a lot of Adam Sandler movies.
Yep.
Then they went a little bit more dramatic. They got Adam Sandler to look pretty good in Uncut Gems.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what? As far as I'm concerned, you might as well make The Rock a serious actor as well.
Yeah.
They've proven they can do that before. I think they can do that again here.
Yep.
So, also stars Emily Blunt. Both of them look really good in this performance-wise.
They do.
So I think that'll be a good one. All's coming out. This one straight to Netflix here is Steve. This one's going to Netflix. Movie shows Cillian Murphy as the head teacher of a school that is struggling to survive as he tries to fight for it. However, as he attempts to help troubled youth, they are plagued by violent tendencies and troubled past, all that. So, that's tough enough on its own. Trying to deal with all these young kids, trying to put them on the right path, especially a lot of them. It's hard enough to get one kid on the right path sometimes, but it seems like there's multiple here.
Yeah.
All need a little help. And it seems like he's dealing with trying to stop the school from being shut down and everything. So, I can't say I'm jealous for someone in that position.
No. Not at all.
That being said, Cillian looks great in this.
He does.
He
He
always
looks phenomenal. And I think it'll be a good, important, people will look back and be like, yeah, that's how schools were back then. That's what things were like back then.
I get a feeling that's how schools are like now.
Well, school is nothing like when I was in school.
Yeah, but it was always a struggle.
A different struggle though. They're not the same.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I guess when do you think this movie was set? It didn't really show it or anything.
Late 90s.
I was getting
Early
kind
2000s.
of I was getting kind of a 2000s vibe.
Yeah, like
from it.
2000, 2008.
Yeah. Let's just say
Yeah,
let's
I'd
just
say
say 2008.
Yeah.
I could look
I think
it
that's
up,
a good
but
year.
I feel pretty confident in our
I do
guessing
too.
game right
I
there.
do too.
Yeah, no one fact check us on that. Let's see. Anything else we want to say about this one here?
No, Cillian looks awesome.
He does. He really does. Also coming out here to streaming services, The Lost Bus, coming straight to Apple TV Plus, rated R, set in the 2018 California wildfires, which is considered to be one of the worst wildfires in U.S. history. One bus driver tries to help in evacuating 22 students, but gets caught up in the blaze. Starring all right himself, Matthew McConaughey, and America Ferrera. This movie was written and directed by Paul Greengrass, who we talked about a couple of weeks ago with United 93. He's good at these dramatic action, where it is more dramatic, but there is sort of this action intensity to it. But it's not like a Mark Wahlberg, like he's perfectly choreographed fights. It's rough.
It's rough.
It's these civilians kind of in these terrible real life situations and everything like that. So when I kind of saw that, I did kind of perk up with this movie here. I hadn't really heard anything about this before, so.
Yeah. No, it looks good. Matthew McConaughey looks like your classic. I'm Matthew McConaughey and I'm driving a bus because I'm low on life. I need a win.
I don't know what I would have liked better. Matthew McConaughey doing his Texas accent while living in California, or him trying to do a Californian accent. I kind of wish we had that version, but if there's footage of that out there, somebody needs to leak
somebody
that.
Find it.
He probably tried to do that the first few takes, and then Paul pulled him aside and be like, "Look, man, I think you just need to be yourself.
Just be yourself.
And just
try. Pretend this bus is a Lexus."
Or no, it was a Lincoln.
Or a Lincoln.
It was a Lincoln. It was those Lincoln commercials. Yeah. Oh, God, I want to see a spoof of that now, too. Him driving through the wildfire, just sitting back, being like, they asked me why I started driving a bus after winning an Oscar. It's because I want to be with real people. As fire's just flaming by him. Someone needs to make that spoof. SNL, get on that. They're premiering this weekend, so we're asking for a lot of things from a lot of people here, I think, this week. The first half of this trailer, I got to admit, looked very sappy. I was not on board.
Yeah.
And then, pun unintended here. Who am I kidding? Pun definitely intended. Once the wildfire stuff showed up, it heated up for me.
Heat it up.
Yep.
Heat it up.
Yep. I'm not proud of that joke, but it's true. That's what happened. The whole trailer got more interesting. The characters got more interesting. It seemed like the acting and all that got better and all that sort of stuff here. So I got a feeling that's going to be kind of like what the movie is. There's going to be a lot of buildup, and it's going to be harder to get through that. But once you get to the crux of the movie, then it's going to get a little bit better.
Because, in the beginning when they're introducing a down-on-his-luck bus driver that lives with his mom, not a lot of high stakes there.
Which doesn't really do a lot for the bus driving industry.
No.
When they're trying to like get people to sign up for these stuff, like no, you're not a bum.
I do have to defend the bus driving industry is very important. We need them. They're very valuable.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, yeah, I agree with all that, but I'm saying, the whole cliche of bus drivers being bums.
Yeah,
that's obviously
a cliche.
Yeah, but this movie's not helping it.
No. At least the beginning. The beginning's not helping it. Maybe by the end.
Yeah, become a bus driver. Be a hero.
Be a hero.
That's what the marketing for every bus company needs is this movie right now. Let's see. Last but certainly not least, VHS Halloween. This one's coming straight to Shudder. Another edition of the VHS franchise. This is essentially like 6 short stories.
Yep. An anthology series.
Yeah, an anthology series just kind of all put together here, centered around Halloween. My question is, why wouldn't you just wait a couple weeks to release this? Just release it during Halloween.
Well, it's spooky season.
I know, but like
people like me and my fellow goons and goongettes. How would you call a girl goon?
I think
goonettes.
I think goonette
my goons
works.
And goonettes. They are eating up Halloween. Halloween has started. Give me something new to watch right now. I don't want to wait till the day before Halloween to watch it. I want to watch it now. It gets me in the mood. It gets me in spirit. Because after Halloween, we're kind of tired out. Like, it was great. I need a couple of days just to relax, get back, start thinking about Christmas. Because we skip over Thanksgiving. Everybody skips over.
What's Thanksgiving?
Yeah, everybody skips over that.
What is that?
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's the leftovers of Halloween.
I'm just saying, I feel like more and more each year we get all of our horror movies right at the top end of the month, and then there's like no actual new horror movies coming out to theaters or anything like that. Because like I'm looking forward here. I think like the week before Halloween is that Bruce Springsteen biopic, which is like a November movie, you would think. But there's no competition there.
Yeah.
Which is why they can put it there. So like, why wouldn't you just release it on Halloween? Halloween lands on a Friday this year.
Well, that's the problem though. You can now, instead of just having it during spooky season on Halloween for one night, you have 4 Friday nights of Halloween leading up to it.
I'm saying if it were me, I get that everyone else is doing that. Yeah. So I'm going to do the opposite, and I'm going to be the new Bright and Fresh Daisy.
Yeah, you can be the new Bright and Fresh Daisy.
Then why didn't they do this?
Because you're not going to make any money, though.
They're coming to Shudder. They're not going to make any money anyway.
You wouldn't make as much money.
It's going out to Shudder. They're not making anything.
So then put it out whenever. So
that's what I'm
saying.
Watch it. I'm going full Jerry Seinfeld here.
Now that you say that,
that's my. Dang it! I slipped on my cord.
Since you are putting it on Shudder, they gotta be. They gotta be.
That's my
it.
problem. I get it. If it's a theater release, you have to strategize that a little bit. You want a little bit of buildup. You have like the Black Phone 2 coming out like 2 weeks beforehand.
Yeah,
I think that makes sense. But since you're a streaming service, primarily with horror, that's your main focus. Put it out on Halloween, because. What, are you worried the trick-or-treaters are going to be out and about and watching this? It's rated R. The kids aren't going to be watching it anyway.
That's a good point. You make a good point, Nick.
See, you come around.
Maybe
if more people listen to Nick, the world would be a better place.
They're not doing a split release. They're only releasing it on Shudder.
As far as I know, as far as I can tell, straight to Shudder. So
Shudder's the only like streaming service I respect. Is that bad? They're probably the bottom of the barrel.
I mean, I don't know if I'd say it's bad. It's a little double standardy. I feel like
double standardy.
Yeah, because like
you mean hypocritical?
Yeah, either or. I think both those apply here.
Oh, okay.
Because I mean, Hulu, they usually start doing their Hulu-ween or whatever now.
Yeah.
So like, do you respect them more a little bit because of scary stuff now, or?
They're okay, but yeah, their scary stuff isn't anything compared to Shudder's.
Okay, that's fair. But anyways, rant over.
Yeah,
like I said,
let's keep moving.
I just feel like if you have the choice to put this out whenever, because you are competing with you.
Yeah,
You're not competing against anyone else.
that's true.
Just release it in Halloween.
Yeah.
Heck, you can release that Wednesday before. I don't care.
I would say like 3 days before leading up to it. That's what I would do.
Yeah. Let's move on to some number one recommends. I have been very busy editing the Wii Sports tournament up on YouTube now, so I have not really watched anything. I've spent like pretty much the past 2 full weekends working on that. So, Carter, since it's at the time of this recording your birthday, why don't you take my spot here? Anything you want to recommend?
Carter, before we get into it, I'll give him a minute to think. He's actually taking both our spots this week.
Oh, you don't have anything either?
I don't got
Okay,
anything.
so it's an all Carter recommend here.
Yep. Carter,
Take it away.
for your birthday, this is our gift to you.
Totally planned. Totally pre-planned.
All right, I guess it wasn't pre-planned, but I guess I have two. For one of them, I'm gonna recommend The Usual Suspects. I watched that recently,
Great pick.
and I liked it. I enjoyed it. You can watch that one on Amazon Prime. And then this one is a show, kind of goes with like the spooky theme today. A new season's coming out in like just about 2 months, like just under 2 months from now. It's Stranger Things. If you want to try to get caught up before the 26th of November, I think it is.
Should be the 11th of November.
Season 5 comes out, yeah. Season 5 comes out. That's on Netflix. That's a great, like, kind of spooky show and kind of gets you back into it before the new season. So, yeah, those are my recommendations.
Well, that's going to do it for us here on this episode of Popcorn Bucket List. Once again, check out our display over at the Lyon County Library for our recommendations based on scary movies, based on books that you can check out all month long. And like I kind of alluded to earlier, we've been teasing this for a few months now. Our friends over at Minnesota Sports Live helped us out with this. We got our Wii Sports tournament up on the channel right now. This was a lot of fun to do. Hopefully, if it's half as fun to watch as it was for us to play it,
To film it.
it's going to be a good time and everything like that. So check that out. See who was the winner. Not going to spoil it here or anything like that, but there it was a little back and forth there for a second. Let's just say that there was some epic moments.
Epic moments.
Things that I'm kind of surprised ESPN hasn't asked us for the footage to put on their top 10. Top 10, whatever. But yeah, we'll await your call. So yeah, if you want to figure out who won that, make sure you check out that video here on Omni Entertainment. And also, again, make sure you follow Minnesota Sports Live. Those guys were really good sports to help out with this and do a lot of great content as well. For myself, Ryan, and Carter, we'd like to thank you so much for watching, and we will see you at the movies.
That was me throwing a Pokeball.
Yeah, I know.
You got it.
Yeah.